Andrew Christie, of course, for this groundbreaking launch today. All we're going to be launching are an author from America via Skype. And Vicky, welcome. Let's give her a round of applause. Wave to everyone, Vicky.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
She's actually a best-selling author.
This has been such a dream come true.
Yes, we've been working at this for a couple of months, haven't we? How long has it taken us? About 6 months?
Yes, it has. It has.
Oh, well, I'm so glad to have you in the nice shop, and we welcome you to Skoobs.
It has been so worth it. It's been worth the wait. It's so exciting.
So exciting to have you here, Vix, to be part of this new initiative at Skoobs. And I want to thank Andrew Christie and Kim Hunter for just putting in all this hard work, getting you here, the very first American independent author into the store. So I'm going to hand over to your MC, Andrew Christie, and please enjoy the morning with us. Let's give her a whole lot of love, a whole lot of love.
Thank you for having me, Deborah.
So, can you hear me okay?
Yes. I can.
Oh, excellent. I've known Vicky or Sojourner for quite a while now. I've known her for longer than 2 years. I'm very privileged to count her amongst one of my close friends. Okay. We've gotten to know each other very well, and she's one of the nicest people that I know. She really is lovely. And that might be because I've never actually met her before.
That's right.
So I'm thinking that in the future all my friends should be like this. We get to know each other online, we don't have to worry about each other's hassles, although we have been able to talk about very many things over the years. And one of the things that sticks out in my mind is just how compassionate, generous, and gentle she is. She is incredibly sharing of her knowledge. She is a multi-published author. She's written, how many books have you written now?
I've written 3 standalones and 3 anthologies.
3 anthologies. It should have been 4 anthologies, but she refused point blank to contribute to our anthology to raise funds for literacy. But otherwise, I'm sure she's good. You know, you're blushing. We can see that. We can see that you're blushing all the way in Kentucky. There.
Do what?
You're blushing in Kentucky.
I am. Yes, I am.
And not only is she very generous with her knowledge to aspiring authors, to people that are wanting to learn how to write books, to market their books, she has a special soft spot for children. How many grandkids have you got?
I've got 13 grandchildren.
Wow.
And you look so young.
I'm sorry?
And you look so young.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
13 grandchildren.
Those kids started me young.
I think they would have to, hey? And
That's right.
do you like other children, or do you only like your grandkids?
Oh, yes. I love it. I love spending time with them. I love encouraging them. I love reading with them. I love writing with them. Playing with them.
Who here would like to have a grandmother who here would like to have a grandmother like Sojourner? Yay! I really wish I'd had a granny like you when I was growing up.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I really wish I'd had a granny like you when I was growing up.
Oh. Well, I've just been kind of immature.
This girl's childlike, not immature.
That's right.
So, Vicky is this kind, generous person who absolutely loves being with children, which is what's kept her young. When did you start writing?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've always written and I've always told stories, but I never published until 2012. I had always just kind of jotted them down. My kids always laughed because I carried a notebook with me everywhere I went. And I would just jot down little stories. And when the lights would go out, we lived in Alabama where it was a lot of tornadoes. And when the tornadoes come, the lights go out. And so we learned, when they were just little, to make up stories to carry us through those times. And it was fun. So I kind of wish I had remembered the stories we made up then.
It's interesting, in South Africa we have a lot of power going out as well, but we don't have any cyclones here, we just have Eskom here. And thinking about that, what made you want to launch your books in South Africa?
You know, I stumbled across Books and Everything, a group on Facebook.
A wonderful group.
And the people were so nice. And I don't even remember exactly what drew me in, but maybe it was a question and answer session that you were hosting. But when I went in, I saw how friendly the people were, and then I started noticing that they were all off when I was on, and except for I stay up all the time, so I'm kind of on when they're on too. But I just started conversing with them, and I love the spirit that they have. The love of their country, the love of each other, the support for authors, indie and published. Beautiful. And I thought, that's who I want to hang around with. And then when I had this book, I thought, it cost a fortune to send it over there. Why don't I try to get it launched there? And then people can see my books, and I can service the people that I enjoy so much. So I just, went from there.
Well, thank you very much. Let's have a round of applause for South Africa. Thank you for those wonderful words that you shared with us. And talking about your books, this launch is slightly unique in another way, It's unique in another way, in that you're launching 2 books today. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
And they're actually from the same series. It's about a little fairy named Dolcey. And so the series is the Dolcey series. And she's a little alleviator. She fixes problems for people in a way that allows them to find the answer themselves. She just steers them in the right direction. When I launched the first book, I almost immediately started writing the second book because I had a bigger idea. And so when we talked about launching one, we decided why not both, since I've just released the second book. So I was extremely thrilled that they did both books. The cat who's that in the cat pajamas is the first book, and when a pachyderm comes to visit is the second book. But they all include Dolcey.
Your gentleness really shines through in both books. When I was reading the cat one, I'm just going to call them the cat one and the elephant one. When I was reading the cat one, it actually brought tears to my eyes. It was a beautiful story, absolutely wonderful. But one of the things that I've been wondering about is, how did you go from writing a book with a cat to writing a book with an elephant?
Well, Dolcey's rather tricky. She can't just waltz into a house as a fairy. Well, I would never do. The parents wouldn't appreciate that, and the neighbors would talk.
Can I interrupt you there? Because my parents wouldn't have liked it if an elephant walked into my house.
Luckily, she's rather compact.
Ah, okay. Sorry to interrupt you.
She becomes a compact elephant. She doesn't come thundering in. But she'll wear different costumes in each book. The next book.
And how is it that she can wear these costumes and get away with it? Why don't people recognize her? Is there anything special about her?
She's quite tricky. She is a fairy, and she does have magical powers.
Ah.
And so she does blend in well with her surroundings, and she's very alert about other people. So she's not going to get caught unaware.
Okay, so she's a little like you.
Yeah. A little tricky, a little aware.
So, those of you just arrived, we're talking to Sojourner today about her books, but there's something you probably don't know about her, in that she reads quite a lot herself. In fact, you read so much that you're a bit of a reviewer, aren't you?
I am. I'm a book reviewer because I love to share books that I found that I loved. I don't write too negative reviews. I write honest reviews, but if it doesn't appeal to me, I don't read it. So therefore, my reviews tend to be a little higher end of the rating scale, simply because I choose carefully.
Right.
But
And that's a lesson that other bloggers can learn from. Do you find that being such a widely read person has helped you as a writer?
It absolutely has. I can write in different genres. I can write in different topics. When I do short stories, they can cover anything. I've written a short story about abuse, ghosts, animals, children, and I've written adult stories. So I find that reading helps me know exactly what appeals to me, and it does help my writing. It also increases my vocabulary and my understanding of how books should read.
That's a wonderful comment to make, because one of the problems that I've found with many of the independent authors, in fact many of the mainstream authors as well, is that they're so busy writing their book that they're not making time to read. And my feeling is that you can't read, you can be a reader and not be a writer, but you can't be a writer and not be a reader.
I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely do, because first of all, reading instills passion in you. It makes you want to build on what you just read. We all see the characters in our own way, and we know how we wish the story had gone. That's basically a writing skill. So you can take someone else's story, and then you can go, but I see it from this perspective, and switch it around, and come out with a totally different product. So I think it totally helps.
Wonderful.
And it's imperative that you be a reader to be a good writer.
Thank you for your insight there. I'm just thanking you because you agreed with me. If you disagreed, I wouldn't have thanked you.
And you'll have to come up with a no question and see how we do.
Another question, okay. Challenge accepted. Have you been a reader your whole life?
Yes, I have. I've read since I was a little girl and loved books. I love biographies. One of the first books that I read as a child was the biography of Helen Keller. She was a Southern woman. She was deaf, dumb, and blind. And I don't know how well known she is there, but I grew up in the same state as her, and so she was very real to me. She was still alive when I read that book. And, I think I was in the second grade when I read her biography, and it was so powerful. And so I love a good biography, and I love
Could I interrupt you there? So, Helen Keller is widely known here, and in fact, I read her autobiography when I was in the third grade.
Ah.
So you're more advanced than me, but girls are more advanced than boys.
Hallelujah!
Sorry, there's some idiot there who have her thrown out. When you were growing up, you were enjoying your reading, and I believe you'd like to read to us this morning.
I do. I have a small story that I thought everyone would enjoy. I've always enjoyed it. It's a book when I was a child. It's called The Gull That Lost the Sea. And we have it here for my granddaughter as a little golden book. And it's just a quick read, but, and I have to put on my glasses. I am a grandmother. Once upon a sunny seashore, there lived a girl named Gulliver. Gulliver nested among the rocks below the lighthouse. His nest was made of dry seaweeds, stems of grass, and old feathers. It was a very warm and wonderful nest. The lighthouse rose above it like a giant peppermint stick. Sometimes Gulliver hunted seashells on the beach. He cracked open the hard shells by dropping them on the rocks. But most of the time, he followed passing ships, feeding on scraps that fishermen tossed to him. One day, as Gulliver was following a tanker, dark clouds appeared on the horizon. The wind grew stronger and the waves crested white. Gulliver was tossed across the sky. The storm swept him inland over valleys and hills. All night long, the rain blew, cold and sharp, but in the morning, the sun returned. Gulliver flew high above the countryside. Instead of the rocky beach, Gulliver saw hills and fields. Instead of blue water, he saw green grass and trees. He did not find the lighthouse anywhere. Gulliver had lost his nest. He had lost the sea. The warm sun dried his feathers, but Gulliver was sad. He soared in wide and lonely circles. Finally, far below, he spotted a village. As he flew closer, he saw a lighthouse. Well, it wasn't really a lighthouse, but it did look like a big peppermint stick, and it reminded Gulliver of his home. It stood in front of a little store called Tony's Barber Shop. Tony looked out the window and saw Gulliver sitting on top of his barber pole. Gulliver sat there all day. At closing time, Tony threw some pieces of bread out on the sidewalk and Gulliver flew right down to eat. The next thing Gulliver knew, he was caught in a big net. He was frightened at first, but when Tony picked him up, it felt warm and safe. Tony put Gulliver in a cardboard box, and it had soft rags on the bottom and holes on the top for him to let in air. Gulliver settled down for a nice long nap. The next morning, Tony gave the box to the bus driver. The bus traveled for a long time across the valleys and hills. At last, it stopped, and the driver took the box outside. When the bus driver opened the lid, Gulliver flew up into the bright and sunny sky. There was a rocky beach, and there was the blue water. And there was the lighthouse, tall and proud above the waves. And the rocks below, there was Gulliver's nest, snug and warm and waiting. Gulliver had found his home by the sea.
Oh, nice.
Well, thank you very much for that. Those little golden books are delightful, aren't they?
Yes, they do. They do.
It must be so nice to be a granny and you get to reread them all again without looking silly, like I do.
Exactly.
Another
Of course,
advantage.
I'm never too far willing. I'm never too prone to not be silly. I kind of get silly naturally. So I tend to draw them into my silliness. Like I have my fox ears.
Fox ears.
Because
I dare you to put those on.
As a chicken, and I'm going as a fox. So
You
we're going
won't put
fox
those
and
on.
Chicken for Halloween.
You would never put those ears on. I don't think you ever would put those ears on.
A song.
No. If you want to, you can, but I'm saying, show us those ears again.
Oh, the ears.
You'll never wear those.
Ears.
You'll never put those on.
Never put these on.
You'll never put them on. No, you're just joking. They're your grandkid. A wily fox, eh?
I actually have a tail as well.
I'm not going to ask you to put that on. But we will expect to see pictures later.
We should never said.
I really do. And I'd just like to remind everyone that Kim Hunter is videoing and streaming this, so you'll be able to go back and look at it live. We're going to be putting it on YouTube. We're going to be putting it on books and everything, so remind your family and friends that they'll be able to check the event even after the event is finished. Now, I know some people had some questions for you. Can you take some questions, or would you rather not?
Oh, absolutely, I'll take some questions.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Can you sing?
I'm an open book.
An open? Can you sing? Can you sing at all?
A cat nap.
Oh, okay. Here we go. All right, who's got a question for Vicky? Anyone got a question for Vicky?
Yes. Is she going to ever write adult novels?
Deborah wants to know if you're ever going to write adult novels.
I have written one. It's a young adult. I wrote it actually as an adult novel, but it works out best for young adult. At this point, I'm involved with the children's stories, so I'm not sure of a timetable. But I do have adult stories in my head.
Adult naughty or just for grown-ups?
I actually have a little Christmas story that's adult.
That sounds scary. A question that I've been wondering about. You are living in Kentucky, which is a different hemisphere, different part of the world completely.
Yes.
What do you think the main differences are for someone who lives in Kentucky versus someone who lives in South Africa?
You know, I see y'all talk, and I really don't see that many drastic differences. You know, people are kind of people, and individuals that I see representing South Africa are just as in-depth and curious and loving and kind as the ones I see here. I see that you support each other more than we do here.
That's an amazing compliment.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if it's because you're closer in location. I haven't quite figured out how far spread out you all are, but you come together as a group quite often, and I admire that, and I'm jealous of that. I have only met 2 other indie authors here in Kentucky, and I don't see the same support in Kentucky groups that I do in your group. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Well, that's a tremendous compliment, and I think I should really say that a lot of that is because of Deborah and the work that she does at Skoobs. So let's have a round of applause there. And Deborah plays a big role.
That's why I wanted to come to Skoobs. That's why I wanted to be part of Skoobs, because we don't have anything like that here, and it's so amazing.
You told me that you just wanted to have a launch here because I was going to be here.
Do what?
No, I'm not going to repeat that. I was just saying that I thought you were only going to be here because I was here.
That was a stunning second.
Okay, I'll accept that. Right, let's see. Who else has got a question for Vicky? Vicky? Okay, no?
Come, darling.
Going to come here and ask the question. Let's have a round of applause for the young lady.
When did she started reading when she was a young child?
What a nice question. What a nice question. Vicky, when did you start reading?
I started reading at 6. I started reading small books at 6. I learned to read at 5, but actually going from just readers at school to my own books, I was 6. And so they have been a part of me my whole life.
Wow.
And I encourage my grandchildren to read as well as write. We do a thing here, and I think it's gaining prominence around the world, but it's NaNoWriMo, the National November month of books. That's not right. But November spells something. That it's a writing opportunity each month of November. And so I've got 3 of my grandchildren writing books this year. So
That's amazing.
I'm excited about that. Yeah,
3 of your grandchildren.
6-year-olds and a 7-year-old.
That's incredible. I know that one also wrote alongside you last year.
Absolutely, I had 2 write last year. One was 5, both were 5. The 2 5-year-olds both wrote and illustrated their own books.
Illustrated as well. James,
Yeah, absolutely. I was struggling to finish one book. They were doing their second and illustrating them as well. So
they had no choice with you as a grandmother. Are there any other questions that you'd like to ask Vicky?
When is she coming to South Africa?
Yes, when you're coming to visit us.
I tell you what, that is the first place I want to go when I leave the country. That's where I want to go.
When you leave
I
the
want
country.
to see it for myself, and I want to meet all y'all in person. This is a close second, but I want to meet y'all all in person.
Well, you won't have any problem finding a place to stay. There'll be lots of homes with the doors open to you.
Yes.
Something
That's awesome.
I'd like to ask you, we haven't spoken too much about your books. We've spoken about Dolcey. But where did the character come from? How did you...
Emily, the character in the first book, is actually based loosely on my grandchildren's trip when they left. They moved from Kentucky to Michigan, and I'm not sure if you can imagine how large a trip that was. It takes 24 hours to drive there. So they went quite a ways away from the entire family. They had grandparents and aunts and cousins that they were all leaving. And so I kind of took their emotional state at leaving, and then I added a little magic and a little time travel and a little fun into it. But the things that Emily sees when she's looking back, those are things that my grandchildren have done since they moved to Michigan. They've made the crafts and the recipes, and so it's fun that we were able to share that.
Absolutely, and there's all those extra things in your books, which are fabulous. Who did your illustrations?
In the first book, it was, oh my gosh.
Lee Barrett.
Ellie Barrett. That was my first illustrator. And then she went back to school, so she wasn't able to illustrate anymore. So I had to find a new illustrator, and I found the most wonderful illustrator on the planet. And her name is Jana Vinter, and she is amazing. She brought every scene that I wrote and loved to life. And it was amazing seeing, because I wrote it, she took the words and she just painted a picture that is so, so perfect. The one of the clowns in the book, I mean, she's just like I saw her when I wrote the book. So she is just spectacular. I'm very fortunate to have her working with me.
It's wonderful when you're able to work with someone like that, someone who understands you, gets what you're trying to say, and can enhance the story in that way.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And without a lot of hand-holding and saying, I want exactly this, no, do it this way, I gave her all the freedom in the world to put it as how she saw it, and she was just so in my head. It was wonderful.
Super. Has anyone else got any
And we're
questions?
going to be working again together in the next book.
I meant other people can ask questions.
Sure.
Just teasing you. But I see Sean's got a question.
When is the next book coming?
When is the next book coming?
It should be out probably January. I think I'll finish it up about January.
So the first book is about Dolcey dressed as a cat. The second one is an elephant. Are we allowed to ask what the third one is?
The title of the third one is that an owl in the house?
My goodness. So you go from domestic animal to one of the biggest animals in the
No,
world, and now a bird.
I would never give away what Dolcey's going to be in the next book.
That's a very naughty grin that you have there. Thanks, Sean. Has anyone else got any questions that they'd like to ask? Okay, well, I know that we have something special arranged now. So I'm going to hand the microphone over to Kim, and I think Kim and you have arranged something quite special. So here's Kim. She's going to chat with you now.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for doing that and for chatting with Vicky for us. Before you run away, though, we are having a lucky draw, and it's a very, very special prize today. The person whose lucky number is drawn gets to name the human character in Vicky's next book, or Sojourner's next book. Isn't that exciting? So Dolcey is in the next book. Dolcey is the fairy, and she dresses up as an owl, but she goes to help a human child. And we are going to have someone here today, whoever's number is drawn, to name that child. So, Andrew, if you wouldn't mind.
Pick 20, pick 20.
Okay. Who's got number 9,420? No one. Yeah. No, the number I have here begins with a 1. Who's got a number that begins with a 1? The second number is 8. Number 18.
So is anyone still here with number 18? No.
Yeah, I vote to give it to number 8. Everybody vote
Yes.
to give it to number 8.
Yay! So you get to name the character in Sojourner's next book. So I'll speak to you just now, and we'll have a little chat with Sojourner, okay? Right. Then I've got some little prizes to give away because the children have been fantastic.
They certainly have been.
So if you wouldn't mind coming up quickly, all of you, all the children come up. Come quickly. There's one for you, and one for you, and one for you.
Andrew said I'm 3 years old.
Okay. And then, because today we've had one child who has just participated so beautifully, and I know that she's actually already won a competition, but I would love to give her an extra special prize because she was brave enough to ask a question. So you can get to choose if you want Who's That in the Cat's Pajamas, or When a Pachyderm Comes to Visit. You can have one copy. Okay. Lovely. Right, got the books here for sale. If anyone wants to buy, you're welcome to buy them and pay downstairs. And I'd like to thank you all for being here today. Thank you so much for supporting our American author, books and everything. Andrew, thank you. And everybody for visiting.
My friend Kim Hunter tirelessly works beside me at every single event, and for her to have brought Vicky to and seen this dream come true for Skoobs, I want to thank you today, my friend. I love you and thank you so much. Vicky, love you. Thanks for being in the store.
Thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure. I'm so coming. I love children, and my gosh, that you got up and asked a question was wonderfully brave. I'm so glad you got a special prize for that.
Yes, you're going to go have a little chat to her now. And guys, thanks Siriki, everyone, Sean, Colleen, thank you for being here today. And I hope you had fun, Samantha, and everybody that came. But Andrew, Christy, thank you so much. But Kimberly, thank you. Got loads of food and things, so please just join us with some juice and food, and come and say hello to old Vix here.
I just want to remind you guys, come and have a chat to Vicky. Alright? She'd love to have a word with you guys. Come and have a chat to her. She can hear you when we've got, we don't even need the microphone. I just need the microphone to speak to you. You guys come out and speak to Vicky here.
Okay, so what's your name, darling? Adiba.
Adiba, that's beautiful.
Adiba. Adiba's going to tell you what the human character's name is going to be in the next book. So have you got your pen and pencil ready?
I never go without it. I've got it.
Your name, any name that you like. Joha.
And spell it for me so I spell it right.
G for Jerry. U for underpants. H for Harry. A for another story, please. Joha.
So it's J or G?
J for Jerry.
Okay, perfect. That's what I wrote. I just wanted to make sure. And will she spell her name for me so that I can, when I use her name in the book, I will spell it correctly?
How do we spell your name? A for Andy.
Okay.
D for Deborah. I for Igloo. B for Bertie. A for another story, please.
Okay.
Lovely, thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you so much. So much.
I'm sorry, we're going to lose the internet
I'm
connection
looking
again.
for
So
it.
let me just quickly see if anybody else wants to have a quick chat with you. Anybody else want to come chat? Which book would you like, my darling? Do you want the one about the cat's pajamas or the one about the elephant? The cat's pajamas. There we go, my sweetheart. That's just for you. Okay, if nobody wants to chat, then I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to say goodbye. Do you want to come say hello? Say hello. No, you're too shy. Oh. Okay, hang on. No, we have to go over here. Oh. Right, there we go. Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Stand. Hi. There's the camera. Hey.
Hi, sweetie.
Okay, what's your name?
What's your name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa? I have a granddaughter named Alyssa.
Isn't that nice? So how about you love to read? She's starting to read.
Oh, that's excellent. Do you like it? Do you find the stories fun? That's excellent. Do you have a favorite story or a favorite character yet?
Not yet.
It's still early. There are so many favorite characters out there. You're going to find that you love so many of them. You don't have to have one favorite.
You can have lots of favorites.
Are you in school? Are you in school? Oh, what grade? What grade are you in?
Grade naught. So it's like the preschool year. The one that prepares.
Oh, preschool.
Yeah.
Preschool is excellent for learning to read. That is where you'll find the love. As you go up in the grades, you'll find more books to fall in love with. But you get that basic down. That's wonderful that you're starting to read.
Good. We take you down.
Bye.
Hello. Please talk about.
Hello. What's your name, sweetie?
Hey.
Kate? Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow, she read Fantastic Mr. Fox in one night.
Oh, that is amazing.
Very.
Does he have adventures? Does he have adventures?
No, what happens in the story? Oh, wow. So he's
Oh,
He
no.
manages not only to save his family, but he also feeds his family. And he outsmarts
He is.
the people. Yes.
Wow. Wow, that sounds excellent. He is a hero.
Yes. Yay. Anything else you want to say? Okay, so say goodbye. Bye. Bye.
It was nice to see you.
Okay, careful behind you. Right. Anybody else? Cool beans.
Yeah, me.
Let's just
me.
hold on for 2 more seconds.
Can we talk later?
So,
Oh,
I'm going to
absolutely.
review that.
Thanks so much for
Unfortunately,
being
we can't
here.
name the character.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm serious. Oh, I'm just so happy. You just don't know. I can't wait to share this with everybody here in the States so that they can see how lovely you guys are.
If you enjoyed it and felt that there was value, it's a reflection of you, not of us.
Oh, it was wonderful, wonderful.
And thank you for being up. In fact, you said 1+1,
I was overachiever. I get what?
The only thing we've gone through is that you signed the book. So we'll get that sorted out next time.
Exactly. I have had such fun, and thank you for such good questions. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, I wanted to try and make it a little bit difficult, but you really didn't.
Oh, you did. You made me think. I appreciate that.
Right, I'll see you later. I'll
Okay.
come around later, but usually I'll get to see you.
Okay, I will. Thanks again. And thank you for everybody coming.